this is Asher coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today is an episode of the Broken Podcast. It's back, guys. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, Night Owl.
Yo, Ash, so glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Welcome back, Mr. KFC.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for waking up, or not waking up. Thanks for staying up till 4:30 a.m. to record this with us. He's like, it's all right, as he passes out. Clash with Shane. What's up, my man?
Yeah, it's going pretty good, dude. Happy to be here.
Good, good, good. How are you guys enjoying this update, huh?
Oh boy.
there's only like 11 days left that they can release it, so come on.
Are you guys hyped? I know. Are you guys hyped for this thing, or what? Or is it at this point? Is it just so long that you're not even hyped?
I mean, it's been boy. The update looks cool. It definitely looks cool for sure, but like the wait time has been excruciating for sure.
Indeed, indeed. Like, when's it gonna get here? What about you? Like, is anybody losing the hype?
I'm not really setting my expectations too high, but yeah. I want something fresh, so that's it.
Me too. Me too. Do any of you guys have like an amazing clan I can join? Because I will try out this clan wars thing. It looks
Panda Scheme, dude.
Panda Scheme.
As long as you don't join Panda Scheme.
Who's the big dog in Panda Scheme now? Is it Nick at Night or Mole, or have you taken over as the big YouTuber celebrity?
Yeah.
He's like, plead the fifth on that one. Anyway.
He says yeah.
He says yeah. Anyway.
My clan's too full.
Guys, we're not here to just, make average or mediocre jokes at one another. We're actually here to talk about cards that we want to see balanced because, hey, we don't know if we're getting an update in August, but we do know one thing. We will be getting balance changes at the bright and early at the beginning of September. So we've each picked out 2 cards. It's up to you guys to tear us apart in the comments. You know, I see a lot of tearing apart lately in the comments on these videos. So let's go ahead and start things out with KFC. It's early in the morning or late at night, however you want to look at it. Why don't you go ahead and start things off here?
So, I would change Heal Spirit because clearly it's too broken. It's definitely the best card in the game. The cheapest counter to Heal Spirit right now is Log, which is still a -1 Elixir trade. And generally, you have to predict it with a Log as well. Otherwise, it just jumps and heals everything. So, I say decrease the amount it heals rather than just touching the heal radius, because it will become too hard to use if the radius is really small. And besides, it's the amount that it heals that's the problem. Heal Spirit could honestly be a 2 Elixir card right now. So yeah, I say lower its healing.
I agree for that, sure. One thing I would like to see with the Heal Spirit is like reducing the range that it jumps, making it easier to counter. Because as you mentioned, like you have to predict it with a log to deny it. And I would love to see it like have to get closer to a unit to jump first before the heal effect goes off, giving you more time to counter it.
Well, then you have to change all the spirits, and it gets a bit complicated, rebalancing the other spirit.
Yeah. So what is the proper change then, KFC?
Lowering the heal amount.
Okay.
You know, like the amount it heals the other troops.
Okay, that's fair. So just lowering the heal amount. Are you guys all happy with that? Are you guys, you know, I like the heal spirit. I like the little fella, but I am shocked they didn't nerf him. You know,
dude,
I hate everything about the heal spirit. I hope it gets deleted. The heal spirit's a cool card, and I was happy when it was added to the game, and like it enables like beatdown style decks and more aggressive gameplay, which I like. But like it's clearly overpowered and broken and needs a fix, so it's kind of hard to argue like don't nerf it for a personal bias. But like I think it's a cool card.
KFC, you're the closest thing we have to a pro on this podcast. What do you?
Whoa!
So
I'm still here. I'm like right here.
Why doesn't anybody run triple cycle decks? Like, you know, just curious. Like, why doesn't anybody run Skeletons, Heal Spirit, and Ice Spirit in the same deck for like the ultimate fast cycle?
Well, I mean, they pretty much do run Skeletons and Heal Spirit because Fisherman's everywhere, so Skeletons distract the Fisherman and absorb the Heal Spirit. Yeah. But, I mean, you don't need all 3. That's just ridiculous.
Okay. Fair enough. What's your... I think, so we all agree on Heal Spirit. What's your second card, KFC?
Furnace, because Furnace used to be, like, the go-to defensive card back in the day, but then it just kind of shifted to Bomb Tower. So I think it needs like a slight HP buff to make it viable again, because right now it's so weak. And like, let's say you're versing Balloon Cycle, for example. Like, if a balloon hits a furnace one shot, it's completely gone. There's no bomb afterwards or anything. If it hits a bomb tower, the bomb tower survives, and it drops that bomb as well. And and you have to use a small spell to kill it. So why would you play the Furnace when you can play Bomb Tower, which has more health and deals splash damage? And all the other spawners are viable as well. It's just Furnace that's just too weak.
So where do you stand?
Why doesn't?
Go ahead, Knight.
I mean, why? You know, maybe I'm wrong here. Does Furnace not spawn fire spirits when it dies?
No.
So why doesn't? I mean,
I don't
think that
know.
would be an awesome change.
Yeah, why does every other spawner spawn death units, but Furnace
No,
does not?
I still think it would be weak, even if it spawns fire spirits afterwards, though.
I think
I
they
don't
would
know.
be
HP.
Yeah, but fair is fair, you know?
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah,
equal out
yeah.
all the buildings. I don't think they need to buff the Furnace, because Furnace is super annoying to deal with, but I think if they made it even with all the rest of the buildings in the game right now, spawning spirits or troops or whatever when it dies, I think it would be a lot more usable.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like a personal guess here, is that maybe they're just kind of waiting to do something with the fire spirits first and then changing Furnace, because like obviously fire spirits by themselves need to be changed as well. So like, do you buff Furnace now and then change fire spirits and then have to change Furnace again? So
Yeah.
maybe that's kind of
logical.
the stance right now, but
Right.
definitely Furnace needs the death spawn for sure.
I
just to
think
be
you might be
consistent.
right there. You might be right there, Shan. It's a good point. But like, where do you guys stand? It's KFC. I'm curious. Where do you stand in? Are you like a hardcore? If something needs to be buffed, it needs to be buffed, or do you think that making annoying cards better, like Furnace? A lot of people find it annoying when it's good. Do you feel like you know what I'm saying, right? Like, should they buff cards that are annoying? Like, because I think I had an interview with Seth way back in the day, and he was like, "Zappies are really annoying when they're good. You don't want Zappies to be good," kind of like that. That was not verbatim, but around that, along those lines. What do you guys think about that? Should they make annoying cards good if they deserve a buff, or should they factor in the annoying factor?
Well, talking about Furnace specifically, it has every building in the game to compete with, including spawners and Tesla. It also has to compete with Fisherman. It also has to compete with Tornado, Bomb Tower, which is the exact same price. So I think it does need a buff. You know what I mean? It's not like unique like Zappies is. It's
To go with your point though, Ash, like in terms of annoyance factor, 100% it should be factored into the balance decisions, in my opinion. I mean, this is a game we all play.
No, it should be
games to
thought
hopefully
about.
have
just saying
fun,
for
and it's
Furnace.
like if a card is annoying, like even if it's a 50% win rate, like perfectly balanced card, if it's super annoying and like a large percentage of your player base like stops playing after they face it, then that should be factored in as well, for sure.
I think I agree with you guys. Part of me wants to be a contrarian and just be like, no, if a card needs a buff, it needs a buff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, listen, even in preparation for today's video, we kind of looked at all the win and the use rates, and like Musketeer is the best card in the game, and none of us have Musketeer for a nerf in terms of win and use rates because she's not annoying, you know? So I guess I would be a hypocrite if I said that. So, okay, we all agree with you, I guess, for the most part, KFC. I think that Knight was on the fence with Furnace. But yeah, I agree with you. Shane, what do you have for us, man?
All right, so the first card, I actually want to see two cards nerfed here. The first one's going to be the Barbarian Hut. This is an interesting card because like it got nerfed a couple months ago, I believe, when they changed the spawner health, and like people stopped using it for a while because they thought like, oh, it was nerfed, now it's useless. But like it's still obviously very, very strong. One of the highest win rate cards in the entire game. It's very, very hard to kind of get value against, and it's very easy for the player that uses the Barbarian Hut to kind of just play defensively, stack those Barbarian Huts, get value over time. And I think just overall, it kind of just is a kind of lame card in Clash Royale. So I want to see it nerfed. I want to see the Barbarian Hut get nerfed. Yeah.
How?
Okay.
One less wave of Barbarians.
One less wave.
Yeah, one less spawn wave of Barbarians.
What do you feel about that, KFC?
I don't really know what, like, I don't know how that would really change things too much.
Well,
I think it would make it pretty weak, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's pretty
I feel
valuable
like,
because
go ahead,
it's
Knight.
pretty
those
balanced
guaranteed
right
death
now.
Barbarians too. So I think like it'd still be usable, but it wouldn't be as oppressive as it is right now.
Is it oppressive?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I think it depends. It really depends on the deck that you're playing. I think it's one of those rock paper scissors types cards. But right now, I mean, I don't think it's sitting that high of usage rate on ladder. I mean, it just seems perfectly balanced to me as far as the building goes. I think it's at a better state than it has been in the past. Before they added that death barbarians. So I think it's a good card right now.
It just saw like such high usage rates when that graveyard Barb Hut deck was being used, and then there's the occasional E-Golem deck that has it, but I don't think it's that amazing.
Yeah, I hate the card as well, but I also kind of, I don't know, think about how nasty Royal Giant Fisherman would be if Barbhut wasn't in the meta either, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I
but that's
feel
more of
like,
a problem of like
I know.
Fisherman and Heel Spirit being OP than like.
Then you should have
No.
picked Fisherman. But
No, I just think Barbhut is just like you said, going to like the annoyance factor. It's like it's OP and annoying. Like compared to the Musketeer, which she's like low key, very very strong, but she isn't like super annoying. So when you face her, you don't realize how annoying she is or how strong she is because she isn't annoying. Whereas Barbarian Hut, which has a much higher win rate than the Musketeer does, you definitely notice the annoyance factor for sure. But anyways, the next card that I want to see nerfed is going to be the Graveyard, which is maybe a bit of a surprise for people. A lot of people say the Graveyard's balanced, but like when you look at the past year or so, Graveyard consistently has been one of the highest performing win conditions in the game. Personally, I would love to see a slight nerf to the Graveyard, spawning 1 or 2 less skeletons. And I say 1 or 2. If 2 is too many, then just do 1. But I really think that like if it just spawns 1 or 2 less skeletons, the amount of damage that it deals per Graveyard goes down either drastically if it's 2 or a little bit less if it's just 1. But it'll be a nice impact to kind of make it in line with the other win conditions in Clash Royale.
trivia, do you know how many skeletons it currently spawns? Because I don't.
I have no idea. Too many.
19.
1 or 2 too many is the spawn.
Okay. Do you guys think that would actually? First of all, I don't personally think that Graveyard needs a nerf. Just my opinion. But do you think that would even fix it? Do you think that's like 2 less skeletons would even make a difference?
I think
so,
2 is
sure.
noticeable.
Yeah.
But I think 1 might be like good if it does need a nerf, which I'm not sure it does.
What
I
do
think it's
you-
just really. I think it's just good in this meta, to be honest.
But
I
it's
think
been good like every meta. Like the past 6 months, it's been like one of the top performing decks. Like, and it doesn't
Well,
matter what cards they change. They keep nerfing. They nerf a lot of these cards that are in Graveyard decks, and then they just change the cards out for a different card. So like it's Bomb Tower, it's Barbhut, it's Musketeer, it's Skeleton Dragons, or it's Knight or Ice Wizard, or it's Blast Guard. But the Graveyard's like always the same. They just
I think
change
it
one or two
needs to
cards
have
out.
its spawns consistent, so it's not so random, because it's the randomness that really costs people games and is hard
Yeah.
to predict, and is the reason why it's so strong. But if they spawned in the same sort of placements, people would get used to it, and it wouldn't be so random and OP in some situations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool too.
I guess the randomness factor of it does annoy people. That's always been the case with Graveyard, but that RNG factor certainly is can be annoying if that one little Larry just happens to spawn on the weak side and you're like, are you serious, dude? So I can see that perspective at least on Graveyard, but overall, I guess I don't really think that it needs a nerf personally. Knight, where do you stand on Graveyard, man?
No, I agree with Shane. I think it does need
Thank
a nerf.
you,
I think
thank
it's way too random. There's so many times when you're, I mean, especially if they pull it out late game and you're not ready for it, it's very frustrating to deal with because you can't predict anything, and it just gets a little bit too much damage, especially when coupled with either freeze or something else that they have in there that's just total shocker card. It's just, it sucks to
Wait,
go get. But I
You think 1 less skeleton, or you think it
I
should
think
be?
one less skeleton.
Well,
would
here's
be
the thing,
perfect.
like, it's always
because
that
if they
one
over nerf it, then it's going to be done for forever,
Yeah.
you know, and they'll never come back to it, which frustrates me beyond all reason. And I'll get into that when I get to my cards. But like, I just think that one little change at a time would be perfect.
Exactly. And the reason I say like 1 or 2 skeletons, like people are like, oh, what's that going to do? Just 1 skeleton. Is like the whole point is not to kill a card. You don't want to kill a card and then leave it like dead like the witch. Like you want to have a card still be viable, just not be as OP, right? So you start with 1 skeleton. If that's not enough, then you tune it again in a couple months or so. But like it's always just that 1 or 2 skeletons that build up near the end of the Graveyard's duration that get the majority of the damage. I really feel like getting rid of that will kind of help bring it in line with the rest of the cards in Clash Royale.
I'm still stuck on the consistent skeleton spawn thing would be enough. Like I don't think an actual nerf. would be
Yeah, I just don't see
necessary.
them doing that though. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Well, that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying they should.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about Graveyard. I think that like if you guys, any of my viewers out there, have any ideas on Graveyard, or you think that we're crazy, Shane, or anybody else on the, or you have any ideas on how to fix the randomization of Graveyard or whatever, go ahead and tweet me or something at CWA or leave a comment, and there's a 10% chance I'll see it. Let's go ahead and move on to Knight's list.
Okay, so I mean that leads right into both of my cards because I think both of my cards are feeling a little bit left out in the dust right now. The first one is the Witch, which they did that massive rework back. I
Yeah.
think it was October last year. and then they nerfed her so hard it wasn't even funny, like the following month, and then forgot all about her. Like, for the last, like, 9 months, nobody's even talked about her. Nobody's even mentioned her. Like, when she walks by in the hallway, no guys even, like, look her way. She hasn't gotten a phone number in years. It's embarrassing, really.
It's all those kids. It's all those kids, man.
I think that's what's happened to her. So unfortunately, the witch has kind of gone by the wayside, and I really would like to see her. She's like one of the icons of the game. She was like one of the first cards in Clash of Clans. I mean, she's like just on every single poster. So she's in all the previews, all the trailers. So let's give the witch a little bit more love and put her back in the game. And I think the best way to do that is just to give her half of her stuff back that they nerfed back in, I think it was November. I think they nerfed her health, and they nerfed how quickly the first skeletons spawn. We were using the first skeleton spawn to block a lot of stuff. And I think they need to reduce that. They increased it from 1 second to 3.5 seconds. Absurd. Who was that crazy? Like, that's just crazy. Like, that's just basically like, here, you're dead. But let's go back to maybe like go like somewhere in the middle and like help her out a little bit. Get her back in the meta. She could be a fun card.
Yeah, I agree 100% for sure. She's like the second lowest win rate in the card in the entire game right now. She needs some attention for sure.
Right? She looks like she needs some love.
KFC?
I want to agree, but I pushed an account through the lower arenas and I know how annoying she is, so I'm kind of scared to say anything at the moment.
You talked me into it, and I agree with you. I remember when they initially buffed her, they're like, plus 290% damage, and we're like, what? You know?
Yeah.
So maybe they went a little bit overboard, but all in all, I kind of liked the change to her, like a drastic change. I just think that clearly they went too far, but there's nothing to say, like you said it best there, Knight, nothing to stop them from just putting it somewhere in between, you know?
Well, the thing is, like, I would love to see them just kind of, like, keep trying. Like, instead of, like, trying once and then, like, just leaving it to be dead for 9 months, like, just keep giving it an effort and keep changing stats and seeing what works, what doesn't work. Like, there's a lot of cards in Clash Royale that could use some changes. Like, it'd be cool to kind of see more consistent stuff for those cards that needed attention.
That's kind of what I've never understood, Shane. I mean, like, why are they balancing cards and then leaving it for 9 months when they could just tweak the changes back a little bit instead of, like, over nerfing the crap out of her? Buff her back a second, buff her back 2 seconds the next month. Is it really, like, that detrimental to all the balance changes to do that every single month until it's right?
They want you to upgrade it. They want the cash. No, I'm joking.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, money grab.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. What do you have for your second card? We all
Number
agree with
2.
Witch, pretty much.
Number 2, I might get a little pushback, but right now, my number 2 card is sitting at the 95th use rate card in the game. After last meta, it is the Royal Delivery. Now, hear me out. I know they took away the knockback. They buffed the Royal Recruit, but right now, nobody's going to be using a Royal Recruit singular in their deck just to drop it somewhere randomly in the field. It just doesn't do enough for their deck. So nobody's using it right now. I think they need to add the knockback back because that was the funnest, most unique part of this card, and the only reason it was being used. Maybe not give it as strong of knockback, but they need to put that back in the game. When I was dropping that Royal Delivery and hitting stuff, I was like excited for the game again, and I just thought it was a fun card to play. And I think that's the kind of stuff that's going to keep people playing the game because they're going to keep trying until they learn how to use that card correctly, and they're going to keep playing. They're not going to play a card that's easy to play or they can get it down the first time. They're going to keep trying until they perfect something. That's why I like the...
Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Do I play? I've never played the Golem in my life.
Okay. Knight, you're killing it today, man. You really brought the thunder. You talked me into the Royal Delivery too. What about you guys?
I mean, the part about it being satisfying makes sense for sure. Like when you dropped a Royal Delivery on a massive push and like knocked everything back, it destroyed everything. Like you felt good as a player. But like the part about it being like it wasn't a high skill card at all. Like you just dropped it and destroyed everything. It was like a one-stop shop for like defending everything and anything. You just drop it, knocks everything back, destroys everything, got a distraction card, like literally destroyed everything. The Barbarian Barrel used to have a knockback as well, if you guys remember. And then they removed the knockback, and it's still one of the most popular cards in the game.
The Barbarian Barrel had knockback?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
I think
Yeah,
you're
that's way-
comparing apples and oranges here. I think this is a little bit different because of the timing and stuff. I mean, the Barb Barrel was an instant deploy. This one's a delayed deploy, so you have to time it a little bit better. I know you're saying it's like a one-fix-all type card, but I think it's a little bit more difficult than that. Try timing that Goblin Barrel. I remember the first time I actually got a Goblin Barrel, dude, I was super jacked. As a low-key player that doesn't play that much, dude, exciting.
Yeah. I went Knight here. I went Knight, man. Yeah. I think that it's a fun card, and you know what? It's an answer to a lot of the annoying things in the game too. It's an answer. It's a good answer to these huge pushes like behind Elixir Golem or whatever. It's a good answer to these beatdown pushes that can be difficult to defend, and the timing is something that takes a while to learn. I think that, maybe it was a little bit on the strong side, but it also countered annoying cards. Like when Skeleton Dragons were super OP, they're still strong, but, it was nice to be able to just Royal Delivery them down, Like, I think I think that Royal Delivery is one of the more fun small spells they've ever added to the game, so I'm with you, Knight. I want to see them maybe given a little bit something back.
Maybe lower damage and then add knockback back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just as long as they get that knockback mechanic back, I think that was a fun
it was
part.
super satisfying, like watching like a massive Golem push with like two dragons and a battle healer, just like delivery it, boom, destroys everything.
Well, geez, and like theoretically, if you're dropping something that big out of the flipping air, it's gonna knock crap back. Like just look visually at the map when it comes down and not do anything. It's like next.
Yeah, speaking of visually dropping things down, like
if
the delivery drops down from the sky and knocks back air units, why does the Mega Knight not hit air units when it drops down?
He misses.
Because it doesn't jump high enough. It doesn't jump high enough.
That's for a Havoc video. Havoc can talk about 20 things that are wrong with Clash Royale. There we go. And it can be a big Mega Knight on the thumbnail with what the WTF or whatever.
There you go. There's an idea for you.
All right. So we're kind of split. It sounds like a Royal Delivery, kind of.
Yeah. I think, Buffer for sure.
What are your cards, Ash?
Okay, my cards. The first one, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with Zappies. But because it clearly wasn't enough. They're bottom 3 in grand challenges and bottom 3 in ladder. People still are not using Zappies. I want to see Zappies get a little bit more love. Anybody have a problem with that?
How?
How? First hit a little bit faster. 0.1 second. 1/10 of a second faster. Let's keep moving them.
I like the incremental changes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know it sounds kind of like memey, but I think that continuing to move these really bad cards, buffing them all the time by just a tiny, tiny bit, and see if that's enough to push them over the edge in terms of viability.
Yeah.
I like it.
I wish that community, I wish the community was more receptive to incremental changes, because the counter argument to that is if Supercell was to do incremental buffs for the Zappies 3 months in a row, the community would be like, oh, they can't get it right, blah, 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 blah. They would lose their mind.
But who cares?
I wish people were more
who cares?
But who cares? Supercell cannot care about what a community, because listen, if there's one thing that we know, it's that people are going to complain on Twitter about everything they do, no matter what they do. Some people complain. Yeah. They could be like, we're buffing Golem, and they could be like, why would you buff Golem? And people would be like, finally, you're buffing Golem. It could be the dumbest thing. It doesn't matter, but people will always be on both sides of everything. So,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, us.
The majority of people don't really care unless it's in their deck.
Yeah, complaining about
Even
things.
Then they hardly notice.
That's true. Oh, but you're right, though. If people were like, hey, we're going to give a 1% nerf to the Knight's mustache, people would be like, what? I love the Knight! They get mad about anything,
Yeah, that would drive me crazy.
Absolutely. Anyway, my next card, what I really want to talk about, though, is kind of piggybacking on last season's ending with Jonah finishing #1 in the world with the Elixir Golem Battle Healer Double Dragon Inferno Electro Dragon deck. It was, a lot of people were not really mad at Jonah per se, but they were mad that deck with Elixir Golem first play, because he played it first play every single time he had it in his hand behind King Tower. A lot of people
were mad at Jonah as well.
Okay, they were mad at Jonah. I wasn't going to say that on the video, but okay, fine, KFC.
I'm just going to say
KFC wants to put it on the record. They were very mad at Jonah. There we go. So, but in all sincerity, though, I played the deck, and I even felt a little bit guilty playing it. I was like, wow, that is, this is dirty. This is dirty. And the Elixir Golem, though, the win percentages on Elixir Golem aren't out of control,
It's just the heal spirit, man.
It
just makes the deck so much better as well.
It's the battle healer, though. The heal spirit, you think? It's the heal spirit's
fault? Yeah, it's the battle healer is good, but the battle healer and Elixir Golem don't need a nerf. It's just
Well, here's the
heal
thing:
spirit.
when you're defending a battle healer eagle and push, like you get it to the point where the battle healer is just about dead, and you have that chance of defending it, and then the heal spirit comes in, heals her back to full health, then she keeps everything else alive, and now you've got nothing left to defend. So definitely is the heal
that's
spirit that
what I
makes
would
that
think,
push
yeah.
like the problem.
I
But I think
just
that's just
found-
the E-Golem overall is just fundamentally like a weird card design, because like even though you give your opponent 4 elixir, like usually by the time they get the elixir, their tower's already gone anyways, and they can't really do anything with it. So
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Expo. If they know how to play it, you're screwed.
yeah.
I've seen even pro players though on this channel just have like the dirtiest losses against Elixir Golem, because sometimes it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what you do. It doesn't matter what you have in your hand. Doesn't matter what you have in your deck. Doesn't matter if you made a mistake.
It does appear that way. As
Yeah.
much as I hate E-Golem, but like a lot of the time, these really good E-Golem players just know when to E-Golem in the back when you're down even a little bit, just to capitalize and get that little bit of an advantage that they need. But yeah, it can feel
so you're
that
saying
way,
there's some
definitely.
skill to it. There's some skill
No,
involved.
I hate E-Golem, dude. I hate. Look, if you know me, like
E-Golem Rage, Night Witch. I'm watching it right now on my screen. I'm recording an E-Golem match
You heard it
while
here
we're
first.
talking.
KFC says E-Golem is.
man, I made a whole
skill-based.
video on hate memeing E-Golem, so trust. I'm more.
Well,
I'm
you're
not
an
gonna be one
E-Golem
of the
worshiper.
bullies,
We
man.
all know that. So, of course, you'd be one to defend E-Golem. But, you know, like, I don't hate the player. I hate the game, you know, in terms of E-Golem and in terms of all cards like this. Like, but
Yeah.
I think there's something wrong inherently with the E-Golem's mechanic. I don't know if it's the blobs doing too much damage still. Like, if it comes down to that, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like, talk about a card that makes you not like the game. It's when you lose to an E-Golem Battle Healer push, you know? E-Golem Battle Healer Rage, even worse. I don't know if there's, you know, I don't know exactly what should be done to fix it, but the first thing that comes to mind is, like Shane said, maybe having some sort of mechanic where, I don't,
We
I
just
don't-
make a whole video
What if
hating
they-
on E-Golem.
I know, right?
What if?
I hate
What if
E-Golem.
they made the E-Golem? What if they balanced it to cost like it was a 4 elixir card instead of 3, and it still gave your opponent 4 elixir? So basically, just raise the cost of the card by 1.
Or
would
what
be
about,
dead.
or is it as simple as once you kill the big blob, you get all the elixir? That's it?
I
No,
don't
that's
know.
no good either.
I wish they
don't-
did it like
really
half
don't-
elixirs.
I don't think
It doesn't need a nerf.
Golem
E-Golem,
either.
no, E-Golem doesn't need a nerf. I don't think.
I don't think.
I don't
it needs
even
nerf
think.
at all.
I don't even think the healer needs a nerf. It's just the heal spirit.
Yep, the heal. As soon as the heal spirit's nerfed, I think it'll fix most of that problem that guy had. Start finishing number 1. A lot of people are playing E-Golem, but they're not finishing in the top consistently at all.
I'm not
I mean,
saying
it's
Heal
just
spirit
not
is
very
just
strong.
unbelievably broken, and it perfectly complements E-Golem healer. That's the facts.
So why is it? So you think that you guys don't? I'm hearing what you say. I'm interested to see what my viewers say here, but I do
The problem
think
is I
that
play E-Golem in my main deck. So
I
here
think
I
the
am.
E-Golem. Yeah, you're biased. I think the E-Golem Rage is just is dirty. It's a dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
Well, I'm
I
trying to
I
be
agree with KFC,
unbiased.
though. But, like, if you nerf heal spirit a lot, then like you won't see E-Golem be nearly as dominating. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I'll tell you what. It looks like we're gonna lose this match on TV Royale. We do. So I guess you guys are right. It doesn't need a nerf.
Nice.
So those are my cards, guys. Those are my guest cards. Make sure you check out KFC, Clash Royale, Clash with Shane, and Night Owl, and well, you're already checking me out, so thanks for coming by, guys. I appreciate it. All of these creators, their Twitter information, their YouTube channels, and their creator codes will be linked in the or listed in the show notes below. Make sure you support these guys. Honestly, they all have great content on a regular basis on YouTube. KFC also trying some weird stuff like staying up 100 hours playing Clash Royale, so check out his channel as well.
Not 100. What? That's coming next
a little
time.
clickbait, a little verbal clickbait for you. All right, so that's gonna do it for the video. Guys, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.
No problem. Guys, thank you for watching all the way till the end. Huge shout out to Geyser, to Bren Chong, and to Stats Royale, my YouTube partners. Check out their information in the description below as well. Thanks, and as always, take care, guys.